So as a result of that, we had ourselves a mouse. But this wasn't just any old mouse, y'all. We tried cheese. We tried peanut butter. It was impossible to attract him.
I am repurposing a video that I shot in December 2020 when I moved back home at the end of the pandemic year. So that video pretty much wrapped up all of my New York City shared apartment living experiences into a bunch of different lessons. So if you are considering moving to New York City, this would be a very cute video for you to watch, and it gives some very practical tips. Most likely, if you are not having your rent paid by someone else, you will be sharing space with other people until you can make enough to live on your own. So I do feel like it will be really helpful, and even if you have no intentions of moving to New York City whatsoever, you're still gonna laugh. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna let December 2020 me take it from here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Lesson number 1. As soon as you get a mattress, you must also purchase a bed bug proof mattress cover. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics, but what I will say is this: it doesn't matter how clean you are, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter who you are. All it takes is for one of these little scoundrels to hit your ride on your backpack, follow you home, and move on in. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is protect your bed. So if you do happen to get chosen, you have a small problem on your hands instead of a major infestation. Keeps the dust mites, the bed bugs, and all kinds of other stuff out. Lesson number 2, pay attention to the layout. If you have to walk past the living room to get to the bathroom, that means you could come out one day and find 8 dudes sitting on your couch. If you're okay with that, then I'm okay with that. Lesson number 3, less money, more problems. While I was living in Crown Heights for the first time, the people next door to us started doing construction. So as a result of that, we had ourselves a mouse. But this wasn't just any old mouse, y'all. We tried cheese. We tried peanut butter. It was impossible to attract him. I got some stuff at Trader Joe's for the mouse. Is he vegan? In addition to that, I woke up one morning and there were worms on my ceiling, y'all. Yes. It was something out of a sci-fi movie. What it turned out to be were moth babies that then flourished and thrived and became full-blown moths. So yes, every time I came home, it was me and a broom and a ceiling and a whole lot of vinegar. Lesson number 4, trust your intuition. After this ordeal with the bougie mouse, I decided, you know what, maybe I should pay a little more money and downsize the number of roommates from 2 to 1. But the roommate gave off some red flags. Her lips were black, and she told me she told me that she smoked weed occasionally. Cut. She told me she smoked weed occasionally. And I looked at her lips and I said, okay, that's totally fine. And you know, something said, something told me that that was a lie. And I moved in anyway. She turned out to be the weed dealer, y'all, for the neighborhood. It started affecting my lungs. I would put towels under the door. It was like living in a war zone, y'all. And then I had the nerve to complain one day and be like, hello, I cannot breathe. Can you please smoke in your room like you told me you was gonna do? All hell broke loose. Lesson number 5. Live below your means. After this traumatic event, I said, well, hell, I don't want no more roommates. I'm putting my foot down. I'm gonna get my own apartment. That's what I did. Now, this is before they changed the laws in New York that said that people couldn't charge you last month's rent. So it used to be that you had to pay first month's rent, last month's rent, a security deposit, and a broker's fee, all at the same time before you even opened the door. All I'm gonna say is the average one-bedroom apartment in New York City goes for $1,800. It turns out that rent plus paying all the bills by yourself leaves you very little money to do much else. And I had just recently got a raise, but after taxes I realized this is not enough. So I would suggest not doing that. Make sure you know how much money you're taking home before you go and get your own apartment. Some people don't mind paying 50 to 60% of their income on rent. A lot of people in New York do it for the sake of their sanity, but it sucks. I was also on Bay Ridge, which is super far. Lesson number 6, there are multiple benefits to having your own bathroom. After realizing that I could not bear the weight of this rent on my own back alone, I moved to Bushwick with 2 gay men who were really, really clean. And I think part of the reason why the place was so clean and we were so happy with each other is because everybody had their own bathroom. So you didn't have to clean up nobody's poop stains. It was great. We had a great relationship. Everybody had their own little space, but it was tiny. It was real tiny. Lesson number 7. Less money, more problems, part 2. You know, I got the opportunity to move into a rent stabilized apartment, and now for some people rent stabilization is the American dream. It's like, wow, why would you leave? I wasn't getting along with one of the roommates in this particular situation, and I think that sometimes your energies are just not in sync, and it doesn't matter how cheap the rent is. You can't stay in there with somebody that does not like you and you do not like them. You know what I'm saying? So for peace and prosperity, you do what you need to do and you leave. Lesson number 8, aim for the top floor. At the beginning of quarantine, I was living on the 2nd floor of a 4-unit building. Things are really different when people start staying home all the time. Like, I don't think I ever realized how much noise was coming up from above, but then they started building stuff and walking around with boots on all the time, and I was like, did this just start happening, or was this happening the whole time? But I was in and out, so I wasn't really paying attention anyway. Dragging chairs and desks and such across the floor, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was at the point where I was like, I need to get on the top floor of somebody's building, and I don't even care what it looked like. So I left. Lesson number 9, 4th floor walk-ups and lofted bedrooms are for the youth. Now I say this to say that, you know, some of us have bad knees, and some of us were born with these bad knees, but some of us, you know, over the course of time, we have developed a weakness, you know. 4th floor walk-ups are cute until you have to go up the stairs with groceries, with all of your Trader Joe's valuables, until the movers start charging you an extra $100 a floor because they got to take your big old mattress up, and then you have to go up and down every single day if your bedroom's a lofted situation like mine was. I also had no door, which is very Tumblr but also very dumb because of smells and noise. Would not recommend. Last but not least,